Good day everybody, and thank you very much for tuning into my very humble YouTube channel. So today is Anthem Day, and therefore I thought I would just make a quick video about the different Javelins and give my 2 cents on how they play, and maybe you can find out which one is most suitable for you. So I thought we would just dive right into it with the Ranger. The Ranger is not one you can choose, that is the one you start with, so I hope you like him because you are gonna be stuck with him in the beginning of the game. He's kinda like the Soldier 76 of Anthem. If you played Overwatch, you know what I'm talking about. It means that he's kinda like overall alright, well balanced, no fancy gimmicks here. He is pretty straightforward. And he controls kinda like how you'd expect, so if you played any third-person shooter game ever, you know kinda how he controls. So anyway, he's got grenades, he's got a hand-mounted rocket launcher, and then he's got a shoulder launcher, which is his ultimate ability. And when you fire that off, he just fires missiles in every direction and it looks totally badass. So overall, as a starter character, he's actually pretty fun. He's like a blank canvas, but still, he is not boring at all. He's got a lot of all the good stuff. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with him and his grenades, and I thought that, you know, the missile launches and all that, that is just fun. You can blow stuff up and you can still move kind of fast, and when it comes to fashion Javelin, I don't know if that's a word yet, but I'm gonna just throw it out there. When it comes to fashion Javelin, then he's actually pretty cool as well. He looks alright. So that was the Ranger. These are in no particular order, by the way. The next one is the Colossus. So the Colossus, he's of course the tank character, but he's, besides being the tank, also the area of effect damage dealer. So his movements are pretty slow and his melee attack is also very slow, and he has a lot of wind up time on it, but it's like an AoE melee which just deals a ton of damage. Other than that, his flying is kind of clunky. He's kind of like, you know, a bumblebee, so he just flies around and you don't really know how it's physically possible to get like a tank flying like he does, but somehow he manages and he doesn't give a shit because he can still do it. So he's got this shield, which I guess you're supposed to use. I just whipped it out sometimes because I felt like I was supposed to, but then you can't deal damage, and I thought, hey, what's the point? Now the other guys are gonna get all the kills? No way, I'm not gonna do this. So I just took it away again and just went to town with my machine guns instead. So this guy is basically the one you choose if you want to blow stuff up. There's a tanking element here as well, and also it's like, you know, you don't have to worry about dodging or flying around or anything. You just stand your ground, fire your machine guns and just explode everything around you. So that was the Colossus. Next one is the Interceptor, and the Interceptor is of course the assassin kind of Javelin. It is one with fast movements, dodges, very agile of course, and a lot of melee attacks as well, which deal a lot of fast damage. So usually I steer away from these ones in games because I feel like, hey, if you have like a magician who can kind of, you know, summon meteors and tornadoes, then what are you gonna use like a small guy with some daggers for? But in this game, actually, this was one of the first time where I really felt that this character makes sense. And that is because enemies, they have shields, and shields regenerate, so it means that you have to do a lot of damage per second. And you cannot stop. So if you're, for example, firing your guns at them, they're gonna drain their shields, but then while you reload, they're just gonna recharge the shields again. So you cannot do that. And so that is where the Interceptor gets into the picture, because he can just take them down before they even recharge their shields. So actually you should target, you know, the higher level enemies with shields. So if you play your role right with this one, then your team is gonna wonder where you went off to and why do you have this guy. Why we should have probably just had 2 Colossi instead. That would have been a lot better. But then on the other hand, they'll notice maybe that there are not so many high level enemies around for some reason. So that is the Interceptor. And lastly we have the Storm, and the Storm of course is the magician kind of character, which is also focused on AoEs, but unlike the Colossus, this is not so much AoE damage, it's more AoE status effects. you know, it's called priming here in this game, but let's just call it what it is. It's status effects. You deal some, you know, elemental damage, which then, you know, wipes off on the enemies, and then when other people touch them or blow them up, if you are the Colossus, then they are gonna deal combo damage. So he's also focused on targeting a lot of enemies at the same time. So the playstyle here is that you fly around and avoid being shot down because you have very little health. You are a magician. So that's pretty common, you know what I'm talking about. So you fly around and avoid taking any damage, and if you do, then you just fly away and then wait for your shields to recharge, then come back into the battle again. So if you play your job right, then all your teammates are gonna notice that for some reason all the enemies take combo damage, and they're new to the game, so they don't know why, but they're pretty thankful. They don't know it is you they're thankful of, but they are. So that is how you play the Storm. Yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a nice day.